Welcome back, friends, to Breaking It Down with Brickitect Episode 5. Once again, you guys have given me so many great questions to answer, some of which are so good that I could talk about at length. So I saved those ones for my upcoming podcast, which I'll be talking more about this week because I'd like the first episode to come out next week. And while we're on the topic of podcasts, why don't I go right into the first question, which is completely not random. This question is from George, who says, "Hey, Greg, what are your plans on your podcast? Do you want to create another channel or upload them to Brickitect or stay away from YouTube?" Well, I'd like to put them on Brickitect. I don't really want to do the whole new channel thing. I have too many channels as it is, and I can't manage them all. I'd love to put them up on Brickitect, but I'd also like to figure out the whole iTunes thing and put them out there too. It's going to take some researchification, but again, I'll be talking more about that in a video that I'd love to upload tomorrow. I'm putting that out there, so I do it. I think that's about enough podcast talk for now. Let's move on to all the other questions you guys had for me, starting with Luke Gregory, who says, "Great video. My question is, out of all the LEGO Ideas set licenses, which one would you like to have a full wave of sets?" And my answer to that question would be Back to the Future. I'd love a whole series of Back to the Future sets, but if I couldn't get that, and you guys are going to make fun of me for this, I would love a whole wave of LEGO bird sets. Please stop laughing so I can answer the next question from Retro Kylo, who says, "Hi Greg, what do you do when you're not recording?" I edit. I'm editing when I'm not recording. It takes a lot of time. The next one's from Brody. He says, "What do you find more enjoyable, building sets with instructions or mocks? Has that opinion changed over the years?" Right now, I really love building Lego sets. There's so many sets out there that I haven't experienced yet. So many sets that I own that I haven't experienced. And I just love opening up a new set, seeing all the pieces in there, building the set as the professional designer intended, and enjoying it and playing with it and letting Clark play with it and destroy it, whatever the case is. I just really love that process. That's not to say that I don't like doing mocks, and I definitely see my direction going towards mocks in the future once Clark's in school and I have more time on my hands. But for now, building Lego sets is something that I just really, really love doing, if you couldn't tell. Squirtle Studios asked, "If the name Brickitect was used, what would your YouTube name be?" And I thought about this before. I think my name would be Greg's Lego Journey, even though Lego is kind of frowned upon in the name. But that defines my channel, Greg's Lego Journey. And then when Clark came along, it would have been Greg and Clark's Lego Journey. And I think if someone were to see that name, they're like, okay, I know exactly what this channel stands for. So that's what I would have chosen. Next question comes from RazorMonkey13, who says, "Great video." Thank you, Razor Monkey. "My question is, does your wife ever get tired of you buying Lego?" This is a podcast question. Oh my. "And does your wife mind you doing YouTube videos, or does she prefer you doing finance?" Thanks, man. Your vids make my day. Thank you. Well, I think she loves me being around a lot more, so I think the YouTube thing takes the cake there, but the YouTube thing takes a lot of time as well. I also film our family's lives, and sometimes she likes to keep things private, where I like to put everything out there. I find the more authentic you are and the more you share, the more people find that connection with you, and I just love having everything recorded. But when you're not totally into that, that can get kind of annoying and obnoxious when someone has a camera in your face all the time. So I would say that maybe, it's a tough one. Again, this needs to be a podcast thing, but I think she overall probably likes me being happy. And I would say that the video thing, even though it's intrusive in our lives, is probably what she prefers. Maybe I'll go into that a little more in depth in the podcast. Stay tuned. Hyping up the podcast. Next question comes from Hunter Gaming Bro. "How is it to be building with Clark and love your videos?" How is it to be building with Clark? Dude, it makes my day. I love building with Clark. I love seeing his progression. I love seeing him build. It's amazing sharing this hobby with a child, and it's probably the reason that I am so passionate about this, is having that experience with my son. The next question is from Car Keyboy, who says, "Hi, my question is, how did you pick Clarkman's name?" Well, the name Clark is from Superman, Clark Kent. We chose Clark because of that. We decided, probably for good reason, not to go with Kal-El. So we chose Clark, and Clarkman just became the natural progression of that. We just started calling him Clarkman, even when he was just a little baby. And now Clarkman is pretty much what I call him all the time, and what he calls himself when we introduce him to new people. Next up, we have Orange Frog 11 asking, "Do you know any good, cheap equipment for starting a Lego YouTube channel? Camera, microphone, editing software?" Yes, an iPhone and iMovie. Next question is from Vladimir, who I think is a repeat offender on here. He says, "What are your thoughts on Lego mixing with technology?" Well, I'm kind of against it. I'm an old school dude, and I love just opening a box of Lego and building the pieces from that and enjoying the set. But I know kids these days, I sound like an old man, and maybe I am, but kids these days really love their technology. They want to be playing their Fortnites and their Minecrafts, and they need something to integrate with these Lego sets to still make them appealing to them. And I think that Lego's doing a good thing here, and I think it's a smart move, especially going forward. Next question is from Ronan Evans, who says, "Greg, I've got a question." What is your question? How did you come up with the Brickitect logo? Do the colors mean something? Do the number studs mean something? Or is it something you thought of over and over again and decided to do that? Actually, it's none of those things. It's much simpler than that. There's no Illuminati thing here. It's literally me sitting down and trying to make a channel banner for the top of my channel back in the day. And I was taking a base plate and I wrote out the word Brickitect on it. And I took a picture of that. And the B from that Brickitect became the Brickitect logo. It was pretty much the same size, same idea. I did change, there was white in it. I changed that to green because I thought it would show up better. So that became the bottom of the Brickitect logo. So thank you for that question, Ronan. I'm sorry it wasn't something bigger than that. I wish aliens would have come to me and given me these plans or whatever, but it was just me sitting in my desk building something. Next question is from Brick Builder, who says, "Hi Greg, are you ever going to buy the Lego Ideas Treehouse set number 21318? Yes, I'm going to buy that. It's on my list. I probably should have done it. Is Brickitect buying it on it? So you guys knew the answer to that question. But I think it's gorgeous. Maybe I'll put it on my Christmas/birthday list. I know Mrs. Brickitect likes that set too, so we could build that together as a family." The next question comes from probably the best username so far. Crazy Hamburger Productions says, "What are your main properties you look for in a Lego set?" That's a good question. What I look for is design. The design to me is absolutely important. I know some people look at minifingers, things like that, unique pieces. I love the design. And I also now, with Clarkman, I look at the playability of a set. How does it play? Can he push it around? Can he fly it? Does it have wheels? Does it have some type of mechanism that makes things explode? I don't know, but that's kind of what I look for. Cameron Ferris asks a good question too. He says, "What if Clark was a girl? Would you do more Lego Friends or the same? Would Lego still be with you?" Yes. I would probably tailor my interest to his, just like I do now with being a Thomas enthusiast, and I know more about monster trucks now than I've ever known before. So I would probably go with whatever my daughter wanted to do. If it's Lego Friends, so be it. If she wanted to collect Barbie dolls, I'd become a 34-year-old male Barbie doll collector. It's just one of those things. When you have kids, you follow what they do. The next question comes from Lego Lover 2019, who says, "If you could collaborate with any Lego YouTuber, who would you pick?" And I think I would pick Ryan of M&R Productions. I really feel like me and him get along well together, and I think we could do some really great videos together. But other than that, I would love to go collaborate with Brickstar. I'd love to go into his basement, just look around there for a bit, maybe have Clark take over his place and destroy everything that he has, play with his trains, and me and him could just hang out and talk and have a good time together. Next up, we got Gary Brungard, who says, "Hello, Greg. I recently got back from a 10-year Lego Dark Age and have discovered many awesome sets and themes from that period I missed. I was wondering, when you returned from your Dark Age, what set or theme were you most excited to discover?" And I think it has always been Lego Creator. I just love the Creator sets, and it kind of takes me back to the days when I used to collect, when things were a little bit simpler than they are now. But Lego City also was kind of like that. It's hard to think back to 6 years ago when I got back into this, but I think I just started collecting here and there and loved everything since then. The next question comes from Clutch Power Productions, who asked, "How was it when Ryan asked you to be a host on Bricks and Bits?" This is actually a funny story that I don't think I've ever told before. I almost turned the position down. I actually went back and watched some of the earlier episodes of it, like the first 10 episodes. I watched a few of those, and I didn't feel like I really fit in. I felt like Ryan and Justin were Lego experts and so knowledgeable in all these things, and I was like, what can I possibly bring to the table here? And Mrs. Brickitect encouraged me to do it. And I said yes, and we've done it now for a year, over a year, I guess. And I'm really happy that I made that choice. I felt like it's going really well. I feel like I offer something, and I think this was Ryan's idea. He wanted somebody that was a little bit different from those guys, that had a different perspective, maybe a little bit older. I guess a more casual collector. And I like to think that I bring a little bit of humor to the podcast as well, but you may disagree with that one. Next question comes from Little Storm. He says, "Hey, have you ever considered buying custom Lego sets, particular military ones like Brickmania does?" Yes, I'd love to buy a Lego tank or a Lego-like tank. Boogly Smash says, "Besides the minifingers, does Clark have any funny mispronounced words?" He does. He has a ton of them, and they're slowly slipping away, and it makes me sad every time he says a word that he used to say in a funny way, and then he says it right. It's like a little part of me dies inside because my Clark man's growing up. But such is life. Someday he'll say minifigures. Did I just say that? Okay, don't unsubscribe. Let's go to the next question, which happens to be our last one. From Milo, he says, "Would you do a Breaking It Down with Clark?" I would love to. I will announce it ahead of time before we do it, but I'll make nothing but Clark-related questions that he could answer all by himself, and I think we could have a really good time with that. So we'll do a special edition episode, but until then, I need more questions from you guys. If you want this series to continue, throw me some questions out there. Whatever you want to know, whether it's life, Lego, anything, throw it out there. I'll try to answer in an episode. I do get a ton of questions, so I try to pick ones that I can answer well, at least I hope well. And if I haven't answered your question yet, try to ask it again. Try not to ask any questions about favorites or Lego themes. I get a lot of questions that are related to that. Try to keep it something that I can expand upon more than that, and that's interesting for people to listen to or to watch. So on that, I want to thank everyone for watching this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you to everyone that asked a question. Hopefully I answered it to your satisfaction, and I will see you guys next week, or maybe in 2 weeks, for Breaking It Down with Brickitect episode 6.